They're extending. The Grizzlies win it 116-99, and really it was the difference in the third quarter. Lakers got it as close as one in the third quarter, and then the Grizzlies closed the third on a 19-2 run. That was really the difference. And how about the backcourt for the Grizzlies? Ja Morant and Desmond Bane combining for 64 points, 20 rebounds, 12 assists. And the Lakers spoil a really, really good game from Anthony Davis. 31 points, 19 rebounds. He had a double-double at halftime. Unfortunately for LeBron, from a scoring standpoint, plays one of his worst playoff games, and he's played in 271 playoff games in his career. That's a record. But he goes 5 of 17, 1 of 9 from beyond the arc. Still gets a double-double after his 2020 game, but not the game he needed to have here as they try to close out the Grizzlies. They'll try again on Friday back home in L.A. Welcome in CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Ryder. And Bill, this game really was coming down to the third quarter. The Lakers make it a game, cut the deficit to 1, and then the Grizzlies go on a 19-2 run to close out the third. What did you see from Memphis in that third quarter?
The reminder that this is a really good basketball team, Akeem, and even though they're down 3-1, it doesn't change the 2 next to their seeding. They won a lot of games in the regular season. They're dangerous. They're capable of playing great D. And we know, we've seen in this series, even in losses for Memphis, how dynamic offensively Ja Morant is and the opportunity that creates for space for his guys, easy buckets at the rim, good looks from the three-point line. They are dangerous every single game they go out there, and they certainly proved it, not just in this game, but as you noted, in that third quarter where they took over. And, we'll see what happens. We got a couple to go if Memphis is going to make a series of it. But this is open. This series is not closed yet because Memphis's quality came out in this game.
How about LeBron? LeBron had one of his worst playoff games of his career in terms of shooting the basketball. 5 of 17, 1 of 9 from beyond the arc. What was Memphis doing, perhaps disrupting him, or does he just have an off shooting night?
So, Akeem, and I think the three-point stat you gave is really important. Let me give you two perspectives. And this is just the eye test. You're from Cleveland. I've covered LeBron. The reason I'm talking to you is because my time covering LeBron James. This ain't a shot at LeBron James. But he looked old to me in this game. If you didn't look at the box score, if you didn't even have the score, if you just watched the game, this is one of the first times to me, Akeem, LeBron James looked his age and he looked old. That doesn't mean that'll be the case in the next game, in series that follow if the Lakers make it, but that's a fact for me. He just didn't look like it was him. With all respect to the Memphis Grizzlies defense, I think LeBron just didn't play well and he looked his age. And I'm glad you noted the three-point shooting because it's a bizarre game statistically. If you look at rebounding numbers, if you look at turnovers, if you look at free throw discrepancies, there's not a wide margin between what Memphis did and what the Lakers did, but it's a blowout in large part because the Lakers were poor from the three-point line. They made 26% of their threes. If they were just to be average in terms of what they did over the course of the regular season, they would have been right in this game. So the three-point shooting is really what was the problem for the Lakers. And if we boil that, we really drill down, it's really LeBron James, 1 of 9, as you noted, from the three-point line. That was the difference between the Lakers being in this game, at least on paper, and the blowout that in the end Memphis was able to put on L.A.
Yeah, 10 of 39 as a team, the Lakers shot from beyond the arc. Meantime, Ja Morant and Desmond Bane, what a show they put on. We saw Ja Morant at one point getting in on a rebound and boxing out guys, throwing down dunks here. I mean, what did you think of this backcourt for Memphis to keep them alive and stave off elimination?
I think the average casual fan knows, Akeem, what we've known, for a long time. Ja Morant's an exceptional basketball player, and he is mesmerizing how he does it. He plays above the rim. He's remarkably athletic. He can score from deep. He can get to the rim. He creates opportunities for his guys. But maybe folks who haven't watched the Grizzlies play as much as other teams don't know Desmond Bane is also an outstanding basketball player. In the modern NBA, you can't just have a Batman. You've got to have a Robin or a couple Robins, and Desmond Bane is that guy. I don't even know what he finished with. I know you have it in front of you, Akeem. I think 33 points.
Yep.
He is capable, Bane, of going out there and helping to carry his team. This is a deep Memphis squad. It really is. And some of that depth we talk about in terms of defense or however you want to categorize Dylan Brooks in terms of chips on shoulders, but they can put the ball in the bucket too, and Desmond Bane is a key reminder. As great as Ja Morant is, and he's the most important player for this team, they are really, really good beyond him as well. That's a dangerous basketball team with some names that maybe the average fan isn't paying as much attention to as in some bigger markets.
Yeah, he scored 14 of his 33 points in the first quarter, and I'm curious if you think there's something to this or this is just like a fun trend here. but whoever wins the first quarter has gone on to win the game in this series, as Memphis was up by 14 at the end of one here. Is that just one of those fluky trends, or is there something to that in terms of setting the tone?
A little bit of both. I mean, if you talk to folks around the NBA, they don't tend to buy into that, but having covered it, I think when you're playing teams that are excellent defensively and have a player who can take over games, if you get to a lead, right, if you jump out a little bit, it changes the dynamics a little bit. The Lakers have been really good defensively since the trade deadline, not necessarily the entirety of the year, but they're a good defensive team. The Grizzlies are the second best defensive team, at least again on paper, over the course of the regular season. Anthony Davis, I think, when he has these games, is the guy that can take over for the Lakers, and that's certainly true, we know, for John Morant. So I think there's a correlation. You get up with the defenses these teams have, and the ability, if you're in rhythm, and have and some confidence for your star player, either Morant or AD, depending on the team, to get you some buckets. And I do think it becomes a little more of an uphill battle for the opposing team than it might be against another squad.
All right, well, the Lakers will have another shot to try to close out this series Friday back home in Los Angeles. Bill Ryder breaking it down for us here on CBS Sports HQ. Bill, thanks. And how about Ja Morant? Most 30-point playoff games in Grizzlies history. He's got 8. Desmond Bane has 3 of them. Again, they combined for 64 points in this game, 20 rebounds, 12 assists as they stave off elimination at home, extending the series to a Game 6 on Friday.